Entrepreneurially Thinking is a presentation of BioSTL and CET, Center for Emerging Technologies, with Rare Gem Productions, changing the way you view new ventures, including you on the pathway to success with your business in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. Here's your hosts, Cheryl and Christy. Now let's get thinking entrepreneurially.
Welcome to the Entrepreneurially Thinking podcast. Our goal is to energize your entrepreneurial mindset and create pathways for business success in the St. Louis marketplace and beyond. I'm Christy Maxfield, Director of Entrepreneur Development Services at the Center for Emerging Technologies.
And I'm Dr. Cheryl Watkins-Moore, BioSTL's Director of Bioscience and Entrepreneurial Inclusion. Hello there, Miss Christy.
How are you?
We are back at it.
Yes, we are. And you kept your laughter under control just enough time for me to get through the intro, so I really appreciate that. If you've been listening to us or if this is your first time tuning in, this podcast is all about stepping outside of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. So we encourage you to carve out this time, whether you're on the treadmill or running errands or otherwise dedicating a bit of time to think about your opportunities and business goals in new ways. We are really glad you chose to do that with us. We want to peel away any limitations you might have about how you think about small business, working for yourself, or being entrepreneurial right where you are. Mm-hmm. You can stay connected with the Entrepreneurially Thinking community on all of your favorite streaming platforms, including Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, or by visiting our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com, and following the hashtag ETHINKSTL.
We've got a great program lined up, and
yes, we do.
I think it's all about really your program.
It is, because every once in a while we just have to plug our own, right?
Yes. And it's hard to believe that this fall, CET will be hosting its fourth SQ1 boot camp program. I can't believe it.
Me neither. 10 weeks is a lot of work. So for the entrepreneurs and the rest of us.
Yes. Well, this 10-week, it's an intensive program. It gives early stage IT, bioscience, and consumer manufactured product entrepreneurs 30 hours of core business competency curriculum.
Say that 5 times fast.
I am not.
Okay.
And an additional 20 hours of coaching and mentoring to help them validate their business model and take the next steps in advancing their venture.
Yeah, we're all about figuring out first if anybody's going to buy what you're selling, anybody's going to pay for what you're selling. So from there, then we want you to run hard and fast.
Exactly. And applications are opening in July for this September cohort. And for anybody out there listening, if you have an idea, if you think you have a product, if you think you have a potential company, you should be looking this program up, because this is a unique program in our ecosystem.
It is. That
brings vetted mentors to help you think through and work through your business plan. It will help you do one of 3 things.
Pivot. Persevere. Perish.
There you go. And that's what we want you to do in the ecosystem.
All are acceptable outcomes.
Exactly.
You'll come in as entrepreneurs. We can't promise that you'll leave with the venture you came in with, but you'll definitely still leave as an entrepreneur.
Exactly. So we have guests here today. We've asked Clint Matthews and Kyle Rood of StartRight Foods and Kathleen Lodes from Send Weld Wishes to join us to talk about the SQ1 Bootcamp experience. They're going to give us an update on their businesses and share some of their insights about being entrepreneurs. This should be fascinating.
They've got a lot of time under their belts right now, so they've got stories to share.
So you guys don't go anywhere. As I always say, stay listening. We'll be right back.
Now here's Make It Happen with Keith Sales Pro.
In an article I read by Brian Hamilton, 5 reasons you need interns to build your business. He shared these 5. 1, they come with a lot of energy. I have found interns to be full of life and eager to learn. 2, they are inexpensive. They don't require benefits, and most college interns are happy to make anywhere from $8 to $18 an hour. 3, they come with fresh and bold new ideas. It is really true that young people have good ideas, in part because they come to problems from a position of naivety, which is actually an asset. 4, good interns turn out to be some of the best full-time employees. And finally, number 5, they will accomplish the unreasonable. In our experience, the college kids and even some high school kids are not anchored to normal ranges, so they can often bend what we think of as possible. Today, remember, it can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
Follow Keith Sales Pro on Facebook or Twitter at Keith Sales Pro, or visit his website at keithsalespro.com.
It can happen. It will happen. And together, we will make it happen.
I'm Clint Matthews, StartRight Foods from St. Louis, Missouri. And entrepreneurially thinking means to me that you're looking for problems and coming up with good solutions to fix it, the best solution to fix it, and making it happen.
So Kathleen, Clint, Kyle, thank you so much for joining us, because entrepreneurs taking time away from their ventures is always a hard thing to do. And so we really appreciate that. I'm going to get us started with Kyle. He's actually the oldest veteran of the Square One program. Back in 2014, you were actually in with a different venture than StartRight Foods. And then Clint went through in 2015 and Kathleen went through in 2016. I think I've got my timelines right. But Kyle, a little bit about you, a little bit about how you got to where you are here and how you got to StartRight Foods.
Sure. So I grew up knowing that I wanted to be a runner, and so my whole college choice was based around running, and I wanted to be a journalism major. So the next step was finding out that first chaos in life, that you don't have it all planned. I'm a person who likes to have everything planned.
So you're a runner and a journalist, right?
No. Only took about a semester at Mizzou to realize that I was going to be a biomedical engineer rather than a journalist.
And you're a biomedical engineer, right?
Yes, I actually did that.
Okay.
But I guess I don't use much of that in my day-to-day life.
That's not necessarily how you self-identify.
No, not anymore.
Okay.
It's helped a lot. Problem solving is a good aspect to have out of the engineering curriculum.
Path, right?
Yeah, so then engineering led me to, I wanted to design medical devices.
Cool.
And it was going to be so cool. I loved knowing physiology, being a runner. And so that's what led me to take the biodesign and innovation program at Mizzou.
Cool.
That's actually where I met Clint. We got to go around, tour tons of surgery centers, vet med, anything where we could go find a need that engineer, business person, and a doctor could solve.
Okay.
And so that's what led to our first venture, Tolariant. We actually made a device that could streamline preoperative surgery prep for cataract surgeries.
Wow.
Yeah, and so as far as your 3 Ps go, that company first perished, then we pivoted, and now we're persevering.
Excellent.
So we've been through all 3.
Oh, cool. I love that. You usually don't start with perish and end with persevering, but hey, whatever order you want to do it in.
And that's what we always tell folks in our ecosystem is, if the first idea doesn't work, we're not telling you leave the ecosystem, go bury your head in the sand and never come back. It's about knowing that up front and then finding something else that might be a better idea, better opportunity.
Yeah. And so when you say it perished and now is persevering, is that same venture persevering, or is that now StartRight Foods?
No, we've completely shut that one down.
Okay.
And kind of thanks to the Square One program.
Woo-hoo!
So
Killed it. Yes.
1 down, 1-0, Square One
Excellent.
program.
But you have now something even better.
Right. So going in as an engineer, I kind of trusted Clint with all the business stuff, and what's great. And then I was like, you know what? I should really start understanding kind of the business ecosystem. I was telling Clint this morning, I was like, I knew the words revenue, profit, and stuff like that. Didn't know what they meant.
Didn't mean anything to you.
And so being able to speak the language after the class and getting involved with the community in St. Louis, knowing the connections, kind of putting out our business model, we got to the point where we realized when we were pushed towards the drug pathway of the FDA versus the device pathway that our business model was kind of up in flames.
Right.
Just because of the investment it took. So
and I think that's where we met.
Yeah, it was.
As when with your first venture. So it's so funny how with this ecosystem, you meet different people along their different paths. So
Absolutely.
It's great to see you now, really flying high here.
Yeah, and now we have a product that, we can serve to you. You can eat the waffles and
Awesome. So, Clint, you started out with Kyle with that first venture, which we've said, ultimately the business model was not validated, which, hey, happens, right? Better to know that before you waste a lot of money and a lot of time.
Exactly.
But you guys stuck together as a team, and what are you guys working on now?
So right now, StartRight Foods is our 100% focus. We kind of came across that. I think what the biodesign program did for Kyle and I was it really allowed us to identify needs and be able to see the needs, validate them with data, and then go after them. And so when we came across some research at the University of Missouri about what eating a high-protein breakfast can do for you, we dug into the data pretty deep, market data, the data that they at the university had established in their studies. And one of the products that they had were these high-protein waffles that they served to some of their participants in the study. And what they found was that if you eat a high-protein breakfast, you will consume about 400 less calories per day just because you're fuller. And so when we tried the waffles, it was the one thing that all the participants said, I want to either the recipe or I want to be able to buy that in the store.
And they are good.
Yes.
I've actually had,
because they're also gluten-free, which is a big deal.
They are very good. So, and I'm a waffle girl, so.
We love our carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Our high protein.
High protein carb, right.
And so, we took that and really had a lot of learning to do, because both Kyle and I, we knew nothing about the food space. We had a business background, and he was obviously a biomedical engineer. And when we started this, we were at a pay-by-the-hour kitchen one day, and I looked at him and I was like, dude, we both have master's degrees, and we're not only cleaning the floors and doing the dishes, but we're actually paying someone
for the pleasure
to be able to do all this stuff. I was like, we've got to figure this out. So
that's awesome, though.
Anyways, that was kind of an eye-opening point. And so we made some quick maneuvers to where we could have a space actually here in St. Louis, and we moved here in November of 2015. Yeah. And I have an awesome space at the STL VentureWorks Grand Center location that we've moved 3 times in their space, and I have a 1,500 square foot space that we do everything.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Do they have a commercial kitchen there too?
Yeah, they have a shared commercial kitchen, and we have a big enough space to where we can do everything in our own space now.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is really great.
Well, we're going to dig in a few more of those details, but I wanted to make sure that we also had an opportunity to meet Kathleen. Kathleen, you also have a partner. Katie couldn't join us today, so.
Yes.
But how did you were an unlikely entrepreneur, were you not?
Yeah, I definitely didn't think that was my path in life, to be an entrepreneur. And I like to blame Katie, who
Excellent.
isn't here
today. It's good to know who to lay the blame at the feet of.
And especially when the person's not here.
Oh, yeah. You can blame her for all sorts of things.
Right.
You got a recipe that's not working for you guys because it's Katie's fault. Yeah.
Totally Katie's fault.
Okay.
So Katie and I are the yin and yang of our partnership, which is great because we come at things from a different way, but it's amazing when I'll say, I don't think that number is the best number for what to order, or I have second thoughts about this, and she'll come back and say, I was thinking the same thing. So it's great, but she has her MBA. She's owned her own business in the past. She's got a full-time job. All things that I do not have. So I come at more of the artistic side. I've been a patient and caregiver for many years, unfortunately, because of a gene mutation. So I come at it more of the experiential side of things,
right.
And she's the nuts and bolts.
Right.
Yes, I'm the consumer, kind of the expert on what it's like to be a patient and caregiver.
So tell us a little bit about what Send Well Wishes is and why your experience is so important to that.
Yes, so our company we have 2 areas. So we have a recovery bound journal, which is designed to help patients keep track of their medical information. So the patient and their caregivers can keep track of all the information in one place, and it improves communication with their healthcare team. So the better you communicate with your doctor,
the
better your care,
Lots
no
of
matter what.
Yes,
tons of information. People forget. Example, my daughter was at the dermatologist and they were doing a skin check, and she forgot to put on her form that she'd had a total gastrectomy the year before. So she had her stomach removed. She forgot on the paperwork, which is a good sign because that means she's thriving.
Moving through it.
She's living. But the dermatologist looked at her and said,
that's kind of a big deal.
It's a big scar, right down the middle of her.
Right.
And she looked down and she's like, oh, yeah, I had a total gastrectomy in May. And The dermatologist was like, well, okay. Anything else? Like, I'm doing a skin check, but what else am I going to see?
If there's things you want to mention, just let me know.
But you do forget. And then you have an older patient or someone who is forgetful, and you can completely forget about major health issues. So that's one component. Then the other thing is what to give people when they're in the hospital, when they're recovering. And the go-to thing is food or flowers.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times food and flowers are not an option.
Right.
You're allergic, you're lots of reasons. So
and, if you don't have a stomach, food probably not an appropriate
Food's
gift,
a bummer.
Right?
When you get delivered something chocolatey and wonderful and you can't eat it,
sucks.
It's a drag.
As a physician that used to have family members bring patients food that they're not supposed to eat.
You mean some fried chicken in a basket?
Fried chicken, because
that's love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're
fried
in the hospital
chicken
for high blood
love.
pressure and cholesterol issues. But hey, let's get
it really doesn't matter that it's going to kill you because I'm going to love you to death.
Yeah. Right. Or what's even better is when your family is eating it around you and you're the patient in the bed and you can't eat it. That's not good.
Yeah, that's criminal.
So your basket has non-food items.
Non-food items: a blanket, a mashi pillow, a back scratcher, a metal straw, which we find in gas stations. It's just a weird thing I found.
Hey, where you source your product from is up to you, right?
Well, they think I'm a drug dealer. I don't know what. I don't exactly
when
understand.
You buy them
when
out?
You buy 100 and
at a time.
Yeah, and the guy behind you is looking at you like
what the hell?
I'm following that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when you can only drink water and you can drink it through a metal straw, it makes you smile. So it's logical things and fun things. White Christmas light. So you string them up in your room and you turn off the overhead light and it's soothing. So those are just some of the things we have, but it brings comfort and joy to the person who gets it, but also to the person who gives it.
Absolutely.
Long answer, sorry.
No. Hey,
it's kind of complicated.
We invited you on because we wanted to hear your story.
Love to hear the stories.
If it takes a breath or two, right?
Okay.
And I just love that your personal experience led you down this road, and then we can blame Katie for actually taking this idea from a thought like there are just better ways to go about showing love to our loved ones who are in this situation and really take it to the next level. So I'm really glad that you took the time to share that. As we think about how all of this intersects, Clint, you have a business background, and yet you chose Square One as well. Kyle had been through it before, kind of, I would dare to say, to complement the bioscience piece there. But what made you think you needed a little bit more in that area before you, just relied on the master's degree? Frankly, dude.
Well, it's a good question. Part of it was Kyle. So Kyle went through it, and he's like, I really think you should do that. And for me, it was really a refresher course on a lot of topics, which is not a bad thing.
No.
A lot of this stuff, like in my previous job, I was in sales. And so, a lot of the stuff I hadn't used in a while.
Right.
Because when we were on our medical device side, there were no sales because we had no product to go out to sell anyone. And we were long
you better
ways from
not,
that.
because that nasty little FDA doesn't like that.
No, that's exactly right. So there's just a lot of things that I think that you get out of Square One is it's I try not to be the guy that gets super deep in one topic, but I like to know a little bit about a lot of things.
Me too. Makes us dangerous.
Yeah. Dangerous enough to probably harm yourself.
Well, I try to use it for good and not evil.
Yeah. But that for me is what Square One was. It was a great refresher course on a lot of topics, and there were some things covered in there that I'd never even thought of, like how to structure equity when you're starting a company, and thinking about doing convertible debt instead of equity when you're talking to investors, just things like that. That it's good to have top of mind when you're starting a business, or even if you already have it running.
It's a nice, like you said, it's a nice refresher course. It's almost like an executive MBA, where you can go through and you're very high level. What were some of the challenges that you had when you went through that program?
So one of the challenges was we had just started our business. Our first sales were in October of 2015, which was about probably
maybe a month into the program.
A month into the program or so, a month and a half. And so it just became very challenging because when it first started, Kyle and I were driving back and forth from Columbia 2 hours each direction to cook there, actually.
Wow.
And then so, you get back here at the end of the day and have to do class. So that was a challenge, just fitting it in. And like we didn't have any distributors then, so like we were running around in my pickup truck with coolers, delivering everything and doing all these demos. So I think that was a challenge. It made it difficult because you're trying to grow your business, but you're also trying to do this learning process through the class. So that was probably a difficult thing, but we always had good things to report because we were growing and stuff. And
you always had good things to report.
Yeah.
But doesn't it make you accountable? Do you find that being in the program, because you are you're getting information, but you're also holding yourselves accountable for the information that you are taking in and developing your business? I don't know if your mentors, do they hold you accountable as well?
Yeah, and I think one of the accountability pieces, the first thing you start off with is a business model canvas.
Yep.
And I pulled that out the other day, and our business model hasn't really changed from what we started out with, which is, after taking that class. So that's been a good thing that, it made you sit down and it made you do things that will help your business. And that is a specific example of one of those things.
Very cool. Well, we're going to continue that conversation in just a minute.
What does it mean to you to be alive and well in St. Louis?
I think one of the things that Alive and Well is helping us teach the community and helping us learn over and over is that asking the question, what's wrong with you, isn't the way, that it's asking what happened to you. And so we practice that in our work sort of day to day microscopically, and then hope to repeat that over and over again in the community. So when we are talking with our women, we know it's about what happened to you. What did she survive? What did she live through? What are all the ways that she has been hurt? And then how do we do that differently? How do we show her love and respect and trust and help her believe that when we say that we're going to do something, that we're going to do it? And when we ask her what she wants, that we care and we listen. And we think that's what trauma-informed work means. We're going to listen to each other and be responsive to what people want and need.
Know that you have some support to manage stress and overcome the difficult things that may have happened or are happening to you. Everybody should be alive and well. Learn more at aliveandwellstl.com.
I'm Kathleen Lodes from Send Well Wishes, and entrepreneurially thinking means to me building something from nothing, seeing a problem and trying to solve it. I would say also, though, entrepreneurially thinking means being afraid, having sweaty pits, and doing it anyway.
So Clint talked about how Square One, really was this refresher and an opportunity to revisit, in some cases, think about new things with regard to the business. Kathleen, how did you and Katie choose to do the program? You mentioned that she has a full-time job. You're really more on the creative side. Why was Square One the right thing for you guys?
Well, it was actually perfect for us because it got us together working with other people and hearing what other entrepreneurs were going through, but also finding out all of the avenues and potential input from the experts to help us pivot, decide what's important, what's not. And the business model canvas is on the wall in our office. We moved into an office space 2 months ago.
Woohoo!
Oh, congratulations.
It's amazing. It's actually smaller than this room. And
which is pretty tiny, folks.
Yes. Yeah. It has all of our products that we sell on our website. And I have a desk and a chair and then a folding chair if Katie's there too.
Well, there you go. Folding chair.
And no window. Did I mention that?
Well, why do you need a window?
You don't. You just close the door.
You don't need to know what day or time of day it is.
No, not at all.
As an entrepreneur, you'll work all the time.
Exactly.
Right?
So, the business model canvas is on the wall, and it's just such a good reminder, and hearing what other people were going through when we were doing Square One Ignite, and having a chance to talk about our problems with other entrepreneurs, because sometimes you're so deep in the woods that you have no idea, and someone will look at you and be like, well, duh, try this.
Right.
And you think, that's so obvious.
So it's a collaborative environment.
Exactly. And then you give other people input, and even looking back at some of the advice we got during Square One Ignite, now we are actually going in that direction of throwing spaghetti at something else. And when you throw a lot of spaghetti, which I swear Katie and I are constantly throwing spaghetti, sometimes it's a relief when it doesn't stick.
Right.
When
You're like,
it just
great,
goes-
I don't have to do that one.
Yeah, when it goes splat, I'm like, yes, it's off the table. We can throw that one out. And
We throw waffles
I was gonna
all the time, but it's not very productive.
you know, spaghetti, some of it sticks. So keep that in mind.
That means you got work to do.
Yes.
More work to do.
Yes.
I think what I like hearing from both of you guys is that the business model canvas, it's not a one time and you're done. You should never look at your business like that. It should always be, let's look at that. Let's see, you know, did we achieve what we needed to achieve? Are we still on track? And I think a lot of our business owners don't even put that together. So that's, you know, Square
It's a tool.
One is
It's a tool.
great
And so
about
in the
doing
case
that.
of StartRight, if the underlying business model hasn't changed, that's not a problem. But other things you've probably needed to test along the way and throw some spaghetti, some waffles. To see what was waffles. You know, you use what's at hand.
So I will tell you that it kind of hasn't changed in the sense that we sell to consumers, but then
Right.
there's that extra layer of now that we have distributors, there's a new customer.
Right. How do you get to your customer?
And so we're actually part of a class now that UMSL's hosting called Flip Zone. And so we
Very
revisited
cool.
our business model canvas on the first day.
Awesome.
And that program just started, what, about a month ago?
Yeah, I think maybe we're
Kiana's
4
doing
classes
that
in.
with-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of different resources in our community. So tell us a little bit about, you know, some of that waffle spaghetti-ness. What has stuck? So Kyle and Clint, you were driving back and forth to Mizzou, doing all your cooking. Now you're based out of St. Louis, but you're distributing regionally?
Yeah, we actually have 4 distributors now that have our products. The biggest awesome change we've had when we moved into our new space is we have our own walk-in freezer. Ooh. We used to have to produce on demand, put it in little freezers that are in our office, and then deliver the next day.
Oh
and
my
now we
goodness.
actually have inventory, which
Wow.
is just insane.
Carrying costs.
Yeah, so yeah, the distributors will stick. They're really nice to have.
That's
Awesome.
great.
Very
That's great.
cool. Kathleen, where are you distributing out of? If I wanted to send one of these amazing care packages or get the guide to make sure that I'm keeping track of all my medical stuff, well, you guys tested a few different ways to go to market, did you not?
Yes, and so we are in several hospital gift shops in the St. Louis area, and that's been great. So, you know, we're seeing some movement. Then you just go to our website, sendwellwishes.com, and you can order. It's an e-commerce site, so you order it, and then my phone makes a noise, and then
That would be the
yeah.
that would be the assembly department.
right,
It's a noise.
yes,
Right?
it makes that little noise,
That
and
says,
I
"Crap,
and I
I've
do
got
this
an order.
little-
Yay!"
Yeah, I do the woohoo, and then I if I'm not at the office, I go to the office, or I might have enough products in my car,
Right.
because I do have a Suburban, or it might be in my garage at my house.
Okay.
So then I package it up, and I'm also part of I'm the shipping department.
Yes, I was going to say,
So-
well, you know, it's really good.
Your
And then
customer
billing.
service.
I'm
I was
customer
gonna say
service. I'm billing.
Yes.
Another different
Right.
A
phone
hat.
noise,
Right.
right?
Yeah, there's a lot of, my phone makes a lot of noises, and then I get this child who texts me that he needs his laptop, or I'm like, hey, bud, there's no time.
In line behind the customers. I got to pay
I'm at
Exactly.
the office.
Right.
And so
Making money
So
here.
that's how it happens. And then if it's in St. Louis, I actually deliver it.
Right.
Which is great, because as long as I have a cup of coffee, I'll pretty much go anywhere. But I love delivering it, because you walk in and you know you're going to hand something. Usually I give it to a nurse and have them take it in, because I don't want to, that's
Sure.
personal. But I love handing it over, because I know that the person on the other side of the door is about to get a super soft blanket and a Mashi pillow, which is the most amazing thing, because no matter what ache and pain you have, you can like wedge it in.
Yes.
And it makes a difference. So
I need
you're
to
just
get one of
bringing-
these and just take it with me
I have
wherever
one
I
in my
go.
car.
Yes.
I'll get you one.
Did you guys ever think about another market? Because I'm just sitting here thinking about, as a business traveler who used to
Yes.
travel a ton, I would love to have that
Yeah.
comfy
It all has to fit in a
pillow.
carry-on now.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
all I'm saying.
Or you could wear it around your neck, which a lot of people
Yes.
do, which isn't really a good look.
Yes.
So I'm just going to say, but really when you travel.
But not a good look.
Yes. So, yes.
And if we're in the airport,
who really cares?
We'll take note of it.
Yes.
Hey, we may not say anything.
Comfort
but
over looking.
Yes.
That's a whole different thing when you're on a plane all the time.
Yes.
So, and then I can bring the waffles with me.
That's right, because we have to feed ourselves on the planes. So that's what you guys should do.
It also goes for warmth and comfort.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. So we're all good.
Yes. So, and then we were actually at a trade show in Chicago, which I find amazing about trade shows is as you're setting up, if you guys had the problem where you're setting up, hopes are high, and then some other vendor walks over and goes, this trade show sucks. And you're like, really? Could you just let me unload my boxes before you tell me that 5 years ago it was the best trade show ever, but now everyone's shifted and
we don't even know why we're here.
Yeah, right. And then it's like you feel like a carny because you get to know all the other vendors and they all know each other.
And I'm getting the head nod from Kyle.
Oh yeah, so we actually have a similar experience, but we play our trump card. We're cooking food, and usually nobody else around us is cooking food. So
that's right.
We were just at the Go St. Louis Marathon Expo, which is a great experience and great engagement with St. Louis community. And
that's a great target. Protein,
one of two
people running.
Yeah.
So we're one of two people cooking food, so right in line. It was great.
Ooh. So this is the secret. You have to set up next to StartRight Foods, and then you get the residual wafting of aroma, and then you feel the comfort of the mashi pillow.
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
Then at that point, we can sell them everything else, right?
Because you need a nap booth right now.
I was going to say, that's
the nap pod thingy, and then, a little massage, a little foot thingy. I'm just saying.
We have Wicked Sheets on our website, which is an item that we're also selling, which is like Under Armour for your bed. So it started out, So Allie Troutman, who is the owner of Wicked Sheets,
which I love the name. I mean, obviously it wicks away moisture, but it's Wicked Sheets.
It's wicked, and they're amazing. And they make them for cribs, they make them for beds. Ooh. Now they're looking into expanding into mattresses.
So that's our third. That's the triad for the trade show.
So we could just be right in a row. Eat, get a blanket from us,
and sleep.
Snuggle into the Wicked Sheets, and you're done.
Perfect. And then go run the marathon the next day.
Excellent. There you go. After, you tie it back.
Or after the marathon.
So Wicked Sheets is a new addition to your lineup.
Yes.
And I've heard that StartRight Foods is going to have some new additions to its lineup. So right now we've got high-protein, gluten-free waffles in how many flavors?
So we have 3 different flavors, and our whole goal with the company is to be focused on high-protein, convenient breakfast.
Okay.
If you eat that protein in the morning, you're doing great.
Well, clearly I need to get my act together.
The problem is there's not anything that tastes good and is convenient, but then also has the nutritional component.
Right.
Because you can skip breakfast, say, I don't like this anymore, or, man, I can't get up and cook this for myself. So we don't want to have anybody skipping breakfast anymore.
Right.
So what's the new lineup? What's coming out?
Well, probably... Wait, I was
trying to think of when. You didn't want to tease it prematurely.
I don't know what to say there on that. But anyways.
Soon?
Yeah, soon. We will have 2 new things.
I like that.
That we're really excited about.
You're having what?
2 new products coming out.
Okay.
So the first one, we are coming out with a all natural, like whole grain waffle mix. That'll be nice that we can get all over the country really quickly. And the second thing that's really cool that harkens back to our Tolariant days, actually.
Really?
Is we became pretty aware of the aerosol space because our med device was aerosol based. And so when we started this company, Kyle said, you know what, I think we can make maple syrup spray out of a can. And
I was going to say, are waffles coming out of a can? What's coming out of a can is all I need to know.
Not yet.
Maple syrup out of a can. Spray.
Yes.
And
So
it doesn't get
This
clogged.
is going to change my world.
Oh, my God. I'm like... Really?
Because I've been known to stand in front of the fridge with a little bit of Cool Whip or whatever's in the can there, and
well, my thing is no
enjoy
more
some without telling my husband.
Doggone liquid of
Exactly.
syrup, and I have a teenager.
Oh, you're all about convenience. I'm like, how can I deliver the product to me faster in front of the fridge?
So I would like just the record to show that I'm the first person in the world to take an aerosol can of maple syrup and spray it directly into my mouth.
Oh my gosh!
Right there?
I have a picture to
prove it.
Yeah, to prove it.
Well,
my
that
God.
needs to be documented because somebody
goes
else
up on the
claiming
website.
that.
I told
That's
Kyle,
Ben's
I
fighting
said,
words.
I want you to take a picture. The first day we had a prototype, I was like, take a picture of me doing this. I want to be the
Okay.
first
That
person.
is
All right.
very cool.
We've-
And it doesn't clog with the maple syrup after you use it?
So we have a little instructions on the side, and we say syrup is a sticky business.
It is
Okay?
a sticky business.
And so if you don't use it for a couple weeks, all you have to do is put it in some warm water for a couple minutes, and it'll be just fine.
Ingenious.
And so you can. The cool thing
I'm
is,
thinking you need to put aerosol. You need. It
You
so
put
needs
the
to be in the
waffles
gift basket.
with the maple syrup.
Absolutely.
I see a bird. What is it? A budding partnership coming
totally.
up here.
there you go. We
Totally.
could do that. We could do that.
Totally. Oh my
Wow.
God, that's amazing.
Wow.
So
Oh,
you also said that could be in all over the country. So are you all over the country at this point?
No, so we have we're in 70 retail locations. We do have some stuff for
Regionally?
sale. Yeah,
Locally?
so I'll just kind of talk about the main areas. So Central Illinois, St. Louis metro area, Central Missouri, kind of a big swath of Central Missouri, and then Southwest Missouri. We're working on moving into Kansas City. We have a trade show coming up in Chicago. That we're hopefully going to try to get in some stores up in that direction. And then with these new products coming out, because of the kind of innovativeness of it on the maple syrup side and the new packaging, we really want to try to push to get the mix and the syrup into a lot of retail locations.
So I was going to ask you, how challenging is that? Because trying to get into retail, especially on the grocery side, can be extremely challenging. How difficult has that been for you guys? I know you have partnership with distributors, but shelf space is always at a premium in stores. So how does that work?
So if you think about what a grocery store looked like 5 years ago, they might have had a health market section, healthy section, but it might have been like half of one aisle.
Right.
Now you go into a grocery store and they're like 4 aisles.
Yes.
Both sides of healthy or good for you products. And so we see that shift continuing to change. And so stores, because customers are looking for new products, stores are wanting to bring new products in. And so it's difficult to get to the correct person, so you got to be persistent about that and be the little squeaky wheel, which I think we are good about that. But when you get to them, they're very receptive about new products because customers are looking for those new products.
Good.
We are hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry for new things.
Yes,
And
we
to
are.
be healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And feel good. So as we wrap up our time together, Kathleen, so tell us, are there new things that we can expect to see in the Send Well Wishes basket, or how do you make those decisions, or is that just TBD at this point?
No, actually, we do. We have a new item that we just started carrying too called the Radiant Wrap. Ooh. And so it is for women when they're having radiation for breast cancer.
Okay.
And so it's just a nice fabric that wraps around. And so in talking to many people who have suffered from breast cancer, the hardest part or the most time-consuming part of radiation therapy is getting changed. So getting changed takes up most of the time because it's only a few seconds that you have radiation. And so the idea with the Radiant Wrap is you can wear it all day. So you put it on in the morning. It really looks nice. I wore it to the trade show. The last trade show we attended, it wasn't a great trade show, but it was everything worked out. So the point is you can feel good about yourself. You just move it aside for the radiation. You keep it on, and it's something that you can give someone too that you want to, again, do something that makes a difference. And so you can give a Radiant Wrap. It comes in all kinds of really cool fabrics, and that's on our website. And we're also looking at splitting our website. And so because our items are so different, we have gift packages, we have the Recovery Bound Journal. So we're working with a local ad agency and figuring out a different message and just kind of overhauling. Our website opened January 1st of last year. So we've had a year of learning and
knowing
experience and knowing our customers and fine-tuning our message because I think our message needs to be clearer so people understand what we do.
Updating and refreshing is always good.
So and we have a summer intern through Startup Connection through
huge.
WashU. So Yes, so we are really, really excited.
That's
she starts
great.
in June, and now we have an office, so there might be 3 of us in the office. Luckily, she's not tall like Katie and I, so we're just going to tuck her in.
Wonderful.
And,
You're maximizing
growing.
all your space.
We are definitely maximizing our space.
You know, I think what's so key right here, we have 2 examples of 2 companies that went through square one that are flourishing. So for anybody sitting out there thinking, I don't have time, or I don't think that I should be doing this is an investment into yourselves, into your businesses.
And
great
Kathleen
examples.
made a really good point. She did the Ignite program, so she did the 4-week sort of quick start, get yourself going.
Yep.
And Clint and Kyle also did the boot camp, 10 weeks, 2 nights a week. So there's different ways to go about doing this that can meet you where you are.
Absolutely.
So unbelievably or believably, we've come again to the end of our time together. We warned everybody at the beginning that would come very quickly. So Kathleen, can you tell us again where folks can find Send Well Wishes?
Yes, you can find us at sendwellwishes.com. We're also on Facebook at Send Well Wishes, and Instagram Send Well Wishes, and Twitter at Send Well.
Awesome.
So
Great.
Find us.
That's right.
Fabulous. And Kyle, where can we find StartRight and all the new products? And literally we can find you in the freezer section, correct?
Yeah, in real life, you can find us in the Deerbergs aisles and a couple local stores, Lucky's Market as well.
Awesome.
So if you're around St. Louis, go grab them. Online, you can find us at StartRightFoods.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at StartRight Foods.
Fabulous.
There you go.
Well, thank you guys for making time to be with us today to talk about all the fun and exciting things that you're doing, but also just reflect on your time as entrepreneurs.
Yes,
we really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
And be well, everyone.
Be well.
Changing the way you view new ventures, igniting your thinking about entrepreneurship. It's entrepreneurially thinking. Get connected and discover more. Visit our website for show notes, resources, information about our guests, upcoming events, and of course, all your favorite episodes. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them for us in the comment sections, and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The best way to show love is to share. Let everybody know that you're thinking entrepreneurially. So visit our website, entrepreneuriallythinking.com. #ETHINKSTL. Entrepreneurially Thinking is another positive production of Rare Gem Productions. Thanks for listening.